Success shouldn't feel this exhausting. If you're winning on paper, but burning out behind the scenes, you aren't failing. You're stuck in a psychological bottleneck called a hurdle of stop. I've been there. On the outside, things look great, but I was secretly burning out, convinced I was just lucky, and waiting to be exposed as a fraud. I realized I didn't have a business problem. I had a mindset block. Whether it's imposter syndrome, perfectionism, or fear or failure, these aren't just feelings. They are growth bottlenecks. Identify your specific hurdle and get one immediate action step to regain your momentum today. Go to tuepodcast.net/quiz. That's tuepodcast.net/quiz to take the 3-minute assessment and get your report now. This is an Undiscovered Legacy production. Welcome to the Undiscovered Entrepreneur, the podcast where brand new entrepreneurs come to life and could quite possibly be discovered. Join me, DJ Scoob, and the rest of the Scoob Believers as we help these new businesses become a reality. And now, away we go! We now join DJ Scoob in the coaching of Laura Ribbins, CEO at Fitness Connection, already in progress. Okay, we've had enough about me. I want to know about you. Tell me about what you do and what your entrepreneur venture is and that kind of thing. And then after that, let me know what's on your mind. I mean, what are you thinking?
Well, I've been in the Cayman Islands for 40 years, and I've always been an adventurer, and I'm very lucky, Jesse, to have a family that, even though I just finished college, I said, I want to go to the Cayman Islands and teach school. They're like, okay, give it a try. They were always willing to say, go for it. Anyhow, fast forward, came to the Cayman Islands, taught school for a while, got very involved with sports, which I always have been. I was able to participate in 3, I might even 4 Ironman competitions.
Ooh, yes. 2
of them being in Hawaii. And mainly I got in because I could do the deed. I could do the triathlon. But because I'm from the Cayman Islands, you had a quota of how many could represent the country. So that got me in. But man, I just loved it. And I've always worked with adults and babies, everyone in the aquatic field. I specialize in baby swim from like 3 weeks on up. Rehabilitation, personal training, anything. I think my superpower is I love motivating people to show up better, to turn around the light bulbs to go on. So even if I'm teaching a baby and they come up out of the water and they give you a smile and they like, man, that was cool. Helping people channel on their journey, on their adventures, whether it's learning to swim, losing 5 pounds, losing 100 pounds, doing a race. All of that is my buzz. And when I presented at fitness and aquatic event conferences globally, before I finished at COVID, but for at least 25 years, the biggest buzz, Jesse, was looking at whatever I was training them to do. Look at their eyes, go, oh, I get it. You mean you can do this, this, and this? And I loved it. And then my brick and mortar is the fitness and aquatic business in Cayman Islands, going 30-something years, teach all the things I've said. But I got involved with a lot of network marketing companies. One in particular about 12 years ago, which is all nutritional based. And I just loved it because it bridged the gap between what I should be getting, what I'm not getting nutritionally. And then they have a great program for kids. So kids are free as long as you're on it. And being a single mom, I had a lot of challenges working to make a living, to make it happen, and balancing out being a single mom. So the nutritional piece is key. I learned a lot. I learned that I'm lucky enough to be an author
Nice. Yes.
on 2 different books. I went to the #1 bestseller on Amazon in 2021 and 2022. And one of the books was my chapter on, as an entrepreneur, working constantly, coming up with, we're usually ahead of the game. I'm always like, do something because I'm a forward thinker. I missed every one of my son's baseball games on a Saturday because I was busy teaching swimming. The ironic thing is I own the company. I could have changed my schedule. My money mindset was so terrible that I put that first. I must say, huge regrets. When I started to welcome abundance, I realized that the things my parents taught me, the only thing they knew how to do at the time, right? I love them to death. No money doesn't grow in trees, being told that, all the way down to eat everything on your plate because 500 children are starving over here, rather than listening to your body and how much you should eat. So I grew up in that era. So like I said, one chapter was finding that money mindset. And the second book, The Power of Yes, was me basically finding my voice. I was in a great relationship with an amazing person, my husband at the time, but I didn't feel good enough. I went through a bulimic stage. I went through losing my voice the minute that person walked in the room. A whole confidence shift around that. I could be in Japan teaching aerobics, totally fine, but in the relationship. So as I found my voice, I realized how many other women didn't have a voice. Then it was more about sharing that in a book. And also remember, I'm in a very small island. So for me to write a chapter in a book, everyone knows what you're talking about. Know what you're talking about. So you got to be careful. And that got me into more entrepreneur stuff, more side businesses. But mainly I started really during COVID in Cayman, Jesse, we were extremely locked down. I could only go shopping on my letter day. So for Ribbins, only on an R day can I get in the car, go to the supermarket. I couldn't. We had times where we couldn't go outside and walk anything public place. Couldn't go to our beaches. Luckily, I'm in a property with a pool, so we had our own time here. Very strict, which saved the country, but very strict. But the coolest thing was, I loved it. I went walking every day, did my own mindset stuff, started loving it, went down heaps of self-development with Joe Dispenza and sort of spending time in that positive mindset of, oh my gosh, show it how I just showed up totally differently. And then with Ray Higdon being involved in that sort of coaching, he does a thing called Wealth Wednesday. And Jesse, what that is, and I've done it religiously for almost 6 years now, is every Wednesday you pay it forward. So in the United States, you could pay for the guy behind you in the takeout at Starbucks. We don't have a lot of takeout here. So some people put money in a diaper box at the supermarket. What I do, it has to be money, is I take 5, 10, whatever I can afford, I attach it to a piece of paper. I take it to the gas station down the road, and they have the area. You go to a gas station, there's an area where they serve the food. Usually not the best choices, but I staple it to a piece of paper and I say, "Welcome to Wealth Wednesday, paying it forward." And I walk in there and they go, "Oh, it's Wednesday." And I hand them the little paper and then they give it to whoever they want to. So it's not attached to me. It feels so good. And during COVID, during lockdown, I took $25. My son was like, "Mom, how are we going to afford food?" And just that whole scarcity mindset, because he knew I wasn't working and how money's going to come in because we're not allowed to work. So I said, "Sam, when you don't have it, that's when you need to give the most." So I got on my bicycle. I rode $25 over to the place, the gas station, came back, pulled in the driveway, and someone pulled up in a car. And because I had been doing videos every day free on YouTube for exercise, the person brought me a check for $200 and said, "Thank you so much for doing the free videos. It's kept me healthy and locked down." So that sort of snowballed into the next phase, which was, oh my gosh, I saw so many people and my colleagues working diligently more than 6 hours a day, home-based business, making 6, 7, 8 figures. It was like, had to. And I started looking at their health and realizing, knowing that our health is our wealth. I'm like, I wonder if they even know they're putting their health totally last. They stopped flying an airplane, but now they're starting again. So they're racing from one speaking event to the next or whatever. And I started looking at statistics and realizing if you sit more than 6 hours a day, your risk of heart disease and obesity, anxiety and depression goes up 64%. So I was like, whoa, I am all about nutrition, mindset, and movement. This is a market I would like to speak to. So that turned into sort of my value proposition of, I love educating people on my Facebook pages, and I just did a whole thing on spices and how it helps you lose weight. We all have them in our cupboards. It also helps you with your health. So I love educating and passing it on. And hopefully I can get people around the fire. And once they get to know, like, and trust you, and hopefully they need advice, I can help them. So I work with people basically knowing that when business owners and entrepreneurs lose weight, they find money. You could have a play on the words weight and money. It could be weight of stress of the job. It could be abundance. But when they step back and they start doing baby steps just to change the nutritional side, just to change their mindset of how they wake up in the morning. I mean, for example, just write down 5 things you're grateful for.
Mhm.
A pen to paper uses 6 more parts of your brain than if you're texting.
Oh, yeah.
Just set yourself up for the day how you want it to be rather than dreading what might. It's a whole different mindset. Nutritionally, getting yourself organized so you're not reaching for last minute snacks. You have right choices. Movement, just getting up every 15, 20 minutes, stretching and moving. There's everything you can do in a chair, and you can get up and shake your body out. Great advantages. And they show that with these healthier habits, they're going to lead to sustainable energy throughout the day. And that's going to have a positive impact on productivity.
It has for me. It
Oh,
has
good.
for me because I actually work 2 full-time jobs on top of the coaching, on top of podcasting. So I have to, with doing that much, I have to keep my energies up. So if I sit for too long, or if I know I've been sitting for a little while, I'll stand up, I'll walk around, I'll kind of give it a little stretch. And I can, just like you're saying, just to kind of keep the blood flowing, because you get down here too long, your legs get stiff, your head gets fuzzy and that kind of thing. So you can't let that happen to yourself.
No, and I think one of the hardest steps is, I can sit here and say, Jesse, if you're nutritionally more grounded, you've got a nice base, and there's some simple steps you can do to start with water. Your brain health, your enhanced focus, better concentration, better decision-making, although all those basically are having a positive impact. It's going to get you from what I call the couch to cash flow. And it doesn't take a whole bunch of time. It's just baby steps. And we're impatient nowadays. You haven't answered my email by 10 seconds after I sent it. I'm like, seriously? Is it not paying attention? So we need to give ourselves some grace. And that's why I think the Coaching 101 with a 90-day cash to cash flow, I take them on their own personal journey. Because as you do it too, I'm sure, people come to you with what they think they need, but you know what they really need. So you have to give them what they think they need first. And then they go, oh, I guess that is what I need. And the whole decreasing your midline to increase your bottom line is not going to happen overnight. But if you can start to see tiny changes for the entrepreneur, it's going to be huge.
All right. You have a lot going on there, Laura. You have stories on top of stories, which is really good. I really like that you have a storyline for yourself for what you're doing.
Well, I think you have to, don't you?
Oh, definitely. It's definitely a part of business, so people can relate to you a lot more because they understand a story more than anything else. You can have them all the facts and figures all you want, but if they don't have a way to kind of encapsulate it in themselves and some kind of story, it's not going to stick.
And I think emotionally, my heart goes out to, I'm a single mom, but I also, here's the trick. I couldn't wait to have a baby. Single mom. But I also use my words correctly. So when I wake up in the morning, I get to take my son to school. I get to do this. I get to do this. Whereas when I'm talking to parents here, and I see a lot of kids and their parents, that have to comes out of their head. And I go, if you just change have to get to, that's your first step. The second thing for parents is I advise them, avoid all yes, no questions. If you say to your kid, I don't know about you, Jesse, but I'm sure you didn't have a complete menu to choose from when you had dinner when you grew up. But if you ask a kid, what do you want to eat for dinner? I'll go to Burger King. Or just give them dinner or give them a choice. With your chicken, do you want to have broccoli or spinach? Then there's a choice. And then here's my thing. If I'm a teacher of many ages, I need to help make a difference so that student, which is 3 weeks old or 103, hopefully they can walk away with some kind of growth, a different perception on things, and feeling good about themselves. So if a little kid can leave the pool and I've just been giving him choices, I'm contributing to him making good choices when he grows up. But if every single time it's a yes, no question, you don't get a chance to make any decisions. And I've never been in the corporate world because I'm a teacher and then I've always done what I love to do. I'm sure in the corporate world, there's a lot of yes, no questions. There's a lot of role, especially if you're working for someone else, but there's no choices. And we're made to make choices, especially when it comes to our health, which is our wealth.
Exactly. All right. So I have a question for you here. We've gone over a lot already, how you love to motivate people, your books, you love mindset and how to do that, educating people. But which one of these things think that impact you the most?
Two things. Okay, I'll give you two. First one was a long time ago. I took saving all my money to go on a safari with my son. Loved animals. I told him he'd go when he was 7. But that didn't happen. I was too busy working. By the time he was 14, we're going to go on the safari. And we were so both excited. It was exactly what you want, only small group. So I'm making these payments and I laid all the credit cards out on the table. And I'm like, okay, I got one more payment to pay. I'll do 200 on this credit card, 100 on this credit card. Well, how am I going to do this? Maybe $45 on this credit card. And tears are going down my face. And my son put his hand on my shoulder and said, Mom, you can use part of my college fund if you want for this trip. I was like, what flipping college fund are you talking about? And the properties, what are you doing for work? This is your college fund. And it was a huge wake-up call for my son and myself on how we were looking at money and mindset. And so from there, I got the next step I took. He went to college. And rather than, okay, what do you need $100 for? What do you need this for? I just said, Sam, I'm going to put $500 in your account. You make smart choices. When you need more money and it gets down to 200, tell me, and I'll put another 500 in. I'll worry about where that comes from. He doesn't have to worry about that. It shifted his old money mindset, became extremely responsible. And now we're treating money as money. It's not emotional. That was huge. The next big milestone for me was during COVID when I got to go walking and every day, 2 miles, if I still do it, non-negotiable. I come first, then I teach swimming lessons. I come first, then I do this. And I didn't do that my whole life. So I always put a lot of people first. And now I still do, but my health is priority. And my role model, Jesse, I have a mom who's 95. She's extremely active, very consistent. So the minute I'm working on my business, I realize I'm not getting anywhere. Or what's happening? I realize it's being inconsistent and follow up. And my mom is every morning, she's like your routine. She does this exercise, and then she just follow up the day. And it's ironic because those are two things we need as entrepreneurs, right?
Right.
You have to be consistent. You have to have follow up.
Okay. So what I'm getting for the two most impactful things out of everything we've talked about is your money mindset and your capability of putting yourself first. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay.
In a non-selfish way.
Of course. Yeah.
Because
As a matter of fact, I did an interview with a young lady named Fiona you probably should listen to that episode that I just put out yesterday. And it's big on self-love and taking care of yourself first. That might be interesting for you.
Well, isn't it a shame that that's not something we're brought up doing?
Oh yeah. Well, it stems from our parents and their upbringing. And the only way they know how to do it is what they were told. So it's up to us as this part of generation to break that chain and to break that mindset of if you're taking care of yourself, you're being selfish. No, that's two completely different things. So what are we trying to accomplish in your business? I mean, I still, the way you kind of explained everything, I love the stories, but I still don't understand exactly what your business is.
Two things.
Okay.
It's an aquatic center. You have everything from swim lessons to babies through adults, water fitness, personal training, water polo, summer camps for kids night out. They use my gym for community events. I live in the other half of the building.
Okay.
Even though I've been here 37 years, many people they think once you're in the front door, they're here.
Right.
Then I have a couple network marketing companies because I use their products and I don't throw up product on people, but I have it so they can visually see it here. They have it as tools in my toolbox. So if someone's really, and it doesn't have to be, it could be a product that I'm using. Like I share all the time. Where's my contraption? Here it is. I like having tools in my toolbox because depending on what your needs are, I might need to refer that client to some other people I know. Because I love referring people to other people. Not necessarily affiliate-wise, just because I know that's what they need.
Right.
You're still going to come back to me to ask the question, and then I direct them over here. The coaching, which is kicking off now, starts off with a 7-day on-demand challenge, which is all emails. So once they link in, they get 7 days of emails. There's a video with me saying what we're going to do. There's like suggestions for the day, a checklist, and it covers mind, body, nutrition, and movement. They also get the free Eat Clean recipe book, which is awesome. Then once they do that last email goes to them asking for feedback. Because if they are going to want to make a change, you're going to want to start somewhere. I also, the minute they opt in to that challenge, I touch base with them 7 straight away and say, thank you for joining. If you're a 911, then send me a message. Let's meet straight away. Some people just want to get done right now. They want 90 days. They have things to do. And they want the one-on-one coaching, which is a personal journey for them to get from where they are right now to where they want to be in 90 days.
Okay. So you have 3 things, right? You have the coaching, you have the aquatic fitness, and you have basically affiliate marketing, but that's just you facilitating. But that's still that could be a type of business that you have.
It is.
Right. So out of those three that you have, which one brings you the most happiness? Which one brings you the most abundance? I mean, you have three things. You really need to start narrowing down a little bit if you want to start concentrating on the one thing that's going to make you happy. Now, I understand all three of these make you happy, but when it comes to making whatever your happiness is into a business, we have to concentrate on which one it is that we really need to separate. And to still work on the other two when we can. But what's the one out of those three? What's the one thing that brings you the most happiness?
Awesome question. I love everything I do. My brick and mortar business, I love, but I'm also cutting down what I'm doing with it. We're building other team members in so I can be the babies. And then that's a business. I'm not spending hours with that.
Right.
Hence, my next passion, what I love doing is coaching people to get to where they want to go. Because I think what's so interesting as an entrepreneur and as a coach, you think you've only done A and B. Then they start giving you feedback and you realize, oh my gosh, they got A, B, C, and D at it.
Right.
So to answer your question, I love my full-time brick and mortar because I'm pulling back from it. I want to create a lifestyle where I've got coaching going on and I'll be able to travel more. As my son gets older, has a family. So I already have one legacy in the making.
Right.
And I've changed a lot of lives with that. That will continue. I'm just raising the price point of it. And then I got smart finally. And then the coaching is my next thing. And I'm also saying, okay, I'm only working with 5 people because I want 5 people to turn around and at the end of 90 days, have an amazing testimony and know I did. What do I need to tweak? What can I do for them?
Have you gotten anybody to take part of that yet? Or is that literally just getting started?
Just getting started.
Okay. Because I saw you sent me a link on the Facebook Messenger. I'll make sure to link that into show notes so people can take a look at that. And so maybe we can help you out that way.
So I sent 2 links.
Right.
One for the 7-day challenge. And one is the digital business card that I'm changing all the time, that no matter where it is, it changes automatically.
Right. Okay. So are you telling me that at this point, the coaching is the one thing that's bringing you the most love and abundance, or the one thing that you really want to concentrate on?
Yes.
Okay. So how long have we actually been in the coaching part of this?
Sorry, say it again.
I'm sorry. How long have we been actually actively being a coach? I mean, like business wise. I mean, has it been for you? Yeah. Has it been a couple of days? Has it been a month? Has it been a couple of years?
I've been doing personal coaching for people for 37 years.
But I mean, as far as doing it as a business, I mean, is that what you're talking about?
As a business, what's always been part of Fitness Connection business.
Mm-hmm. Now
it's part of Laura Ribbins' business.
Okay. So how long has Laura Ribbins' business been in business?
Since last fall.
Since last fall. Okay, good. Awesome. Okay. So what have you done up to this point since last fall to make your business happen? What steps have you taken already? Because here's the thing. I don't want to give you a bunch of steps, but you've already taken them already. Okay. So I'd be wasting both of our times if we did that. So what I'd like to know is what you have done already so I can see where to take you from there.
Working on consistency and everything we're about to mention. But I'm on social media, showing up, giving valuable content, whether it's about a mixture in a jar that helps you from the flu, or whether it's of how important water is, having a grain of salt when you drink water. Education was something fun. So people stay around the campfire. That's my objective. Number 2, on stages. I do a lot of Facebook Live swaps, only a couple of podcasts. and just on a summit tonight before we spoke.
Right.
And I've taken on hiring a speaking coach, and that coach is doing what they call a done for you. So they'll get me on stages. They also help us work on our speech, enunciation, your energy level, whatever you need to do for that. And I think I have to be careful. I just turned down an amazing opportunity to present in California at the end of April. And Jesse, I had to ask myself, am I ready? Right? To pay as you get on stage, they can pay you do it free, or you pay them.
Mm.
It was a you pay them. But the marketing that went with it, what you get once you're there, to the select group of 80 people in the audience, with a very prominent person running it, I'd have to fly there. It would have been a great opportunity. However, for me to show up how I want to show up, I want my LinkedIn totally revamped. I want certain steps taken before I go onto that stage. So that's what I'm doing now, is working on the baby steps of making sure things like my bio and Facebook, whatever I'm doing, and LinkedIn, it's congruent to the audience I'm trying to attract.
All right. Just question. Why?
I want to show up how I want to show up.
Okay. So showing up in California, that's showing up. I mean, what do you mean by showing up?
I want when someone looks at what I do or hears me speak, I do have authority in what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always sure of that. I'm definitely authentic. Sincere. I want to touch hearts when I'm speaking, emotionally as well as with stories, or however that's being done.
Right.
And I just felt, I use the expression, Jesse, own it. It's at the end of April. I've got a big chunk of time in there that I'm traveling with my mom. I'm not going to own it. I'd rather be on one of his other stages later. So that is my reason for me to, now my colleagues are like, of course you're ready. But for me, it's not about getting on stage. I've been presenting a lot of stages. That's not the issue. I just want to feel, because it's a new venture. And I know it could be, you get 2 clients out of it, they'll pay for the whole thing.
Right.
But as I figure out my journey, and I'm giving everyone else their journey, I want to make sure that I'm very concise on my first couple milestones that I want to reach. And because if I'm looking at getting 6 figures in speaking, becoming financially in a situation where I can be teaching swimming free because I love it, that what a dream that would be. And one of my passions is I would love to be able to afford, and actually visualizing this, today I can afford to take all the special needs kids from Cayman to Disney World and just let them see how wonderful that is. And to be able to afford to do that, that's one of the things I will be doing when I can afford to do that.
Nice. That's a lovely goal. I love it. I have a different question for you here. And we're going to go back to the stage in California just for a second. Okay. So I'd like to know what the difference is between if you were to have an opportunity right now to go on stage. I mean, literally, like if you got a phone call right now, it said literally, I want you to go on stage right now. Would you do it?
Like right here?
Right here, right now. If you got a call, like your phone rings right now in the middle of the conversation with me, you realize it's somebody that you can take that's going to be a talk. You pick up the phone and say, hey, I need you. Can you do this talk, say next week? Or just say as an example, I mean, aside, just like say, can you do this? Would you accept it?
Yes.
Okay. So what's the difference between accepting that one and accepting one in California?
2 main reasons. The cost of buying in, it's $2,500 to go in.
Mm-hmm.
Cost of getting there.
Mm-hmm.
And what I lose, because it's very soon, what income I lose for my company here when I'm physically not here.
Okay, so let's put the money thing aside just for a second. Just for a second, let's just pretend it was free, and let's just pretend they're going to pay the cost of California to get to California. What's the difference between the person that's saying, "Hey, come right now," or the one in California?
Very good question. Probably nothing.
Exactly. So here's what I'm hearing. I don't want to do this talk because I'm not, everything's not perfect yet. Okay. I'm hearing a lot of what you're saying is you're afraid of imperfection. It's how am I going to show up? How are people going to see me? If I don't see everything that's perfect, if this person doesn't see everything that's perfect, I'm going to lose a client.
Interesting.
That's not true. That's not true. But this is something you're telling. This is how I feel you're telling yourself this. And I really feel that there's a possibility that you will say no to something you really should say yes to because you're losing out on an opportunity for yourself. Because things aren't perfect. Things are never going to be perfect. So when an opportunity comes, and I tell this to my son too, when you have an opportunity to do something and you can take it, take it. Not everything has to be perfect. People rely so much on social media showing who they are as a person that if that social media is not perfect, I'm not a real person. You see what I'm saying? Don't rely on what's out there on social media to show who you really are as a person. You are Laura. If somebody likes you for you, they're going to like you for you, not because of what your social media say. Okay, your LinkedIn's not perfect. Okay. Is your name on there? Yeah. Is your contact information on there? Yeah. What else is there? Right? So I really feel that now I understand why you didn't go to California. Okay. That's 100% okay because financially and that kind of thing. But I'm afraid a similar situation might come up and you're going to shy away from it because there's something about that's not perfect.
This is a huge lesson, Jesse. Thank you.
Now, I'm not saying stop trying to get your social medias. It has its importance, but don't pass up opportunities because of things not being perfect.
And it's interesting because I have a huge opportunist.
Most entrepreneurs are, but sometimes they come across something that I'm not going to necessarily call it fear, but it might be I mean, that's up to you how you categorize it. Perfection is a type of fear. I'm afraid that something's not going to be perfect and something bad's going to happen. It's something I've studied up a lot on is fear. So I always go to do you know the acronym for fear?
No, go for it. What is
it? Okay. False evidence appearing real.
Oh, I love that.
Okay. Not everything that we do is going to kill us, right? It's not a saber-toothed tiger that's going to bite us. But we're not going to know what's going to happen until we actually do the thing that we're scared of. We're going to have regrets if we don't at least try, right? What if I don't want to do it because my social media is not perfect? But how do you know if it wasn't going to actually give you a client anyway? You just never know.
What is it again? False evidence.
Appearing real.
Appearing real. Wow.
And I think a lot of what you're doing here, you can actually apply that acronym to and have a different mindset, a different mind shift about what you're trying to accomplish. The other thing that I'm going to kind of get into it now. The other thing that kind of comes across to me is you have a lot going on as far as story, and I love it. But the problem is there's no synchronicity to it. It's not getting, I'm going to say things probably most people won't say, but it's not getting to a point. It's not getting to something where it comes a point. It's your story. It's your personal story, but it should end with, and this is what I learned from it. Right? Something along those lines. So, I mean, There's just so much that you can actually start losing people in your story unless you have some kind of point to the end of it. Kind of think of it as the hero's journey. I'm sure you've heard of the hero's journey, right?
Go for what is it?
Okay, so every story that we love in society has certain aspects in it to make it a good story. It has a hero, it has a guide, and it has a problem. We start with a status quo. This is how life is normally. Now we're faced with a problem. We don't know how to solve this problem. We just know it's a problem. We meet a guide along the way that guides us to the right direction, that guides us the way we need to go. And then because of that guide, we finish the problem. We solve the problem. This is a very, very short, succinct version. It actually goes a lot longer than that, but I want to kind of keep it short for you. So here's the thing. When we're telling stories, we want to take the position of the guide. Okay? A lot of entrepreneurs have a bad habit of putting themselves as the hero in the story. Okay? That's wrong. If we're going to make an impact in somebody's life, we don't want to be the hero. We want to be the guide. We want to be the coach. That's what we're talking about here. So I would actually you could actually go to YouTube and look up a hero's journey. And there's about 15-minute video on how that actually all sections out. The longer version of what I just told you. So a lot of the storytelling that you're telling me here is really, it's okay that you're telling your story, but we need to change the story just slightly to where you are the guide. Like when you talked about your son and you guided your son in the money aspect, that's good. That's what I'm talking about. Something along those lines in your storylines. Now, also, there's going to be times where you have to be able to tell your story, but you only have a couple of minutes to tell that story. Maybe not even that. So I suggest possibly, is there a way you think you could shorten that to maybe, and this is going to be hard because it was hard for me, shorten your story to 2-3 sentences tops.
Oh, totally.
Okay. Because what I know what I've had to do a couple times where I would literally write out my story, then shorten my story down to a paragraph, then shorten that paragraph to 2 or 3 sentences, and have those 2 or 3 sentences, something where I get my point across. This is what I do. This is how I do it. This is why I do it, and see where it goes from there. If they bite or they don't bite, whatever. But that's going to help you a lot, and people are going to respect the time. But you're still going to be able to get your point across without having to tell a half an hour story about everything. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I loved it. I did. And you have some amazing stories. And I really feel that you have the capability of telling some amazing stories. You are a very good storyteller. You need to make that into your advantage, though. That has to be one of your superpowers, as it were. Because I really feel that is one of your superpowers, is storytelling.
And I think the magic is, it's like a wheel, right? It starts and you get back to the point of how it relates to whatever the subject you're talking about, whether it's someone's willpower or.
Well, you want it to end up where your zone of genius is, basically, is what you're talking about. And that was some of the questions that's why I asked a few of these questions. A lot of your story revolved about money and money mindset. So you want to end your story with how this can relate to whoever you're talking to and improve their money mindset. Same thing with self-care and self-love. Tell your story about self-love, but at the end of the story, say, this is how it can relate to you, or finish the story with them as the hero. I see you writing things down. That's why I'm not saying anything.
Get it. Because I've been working on stories and trying to get we had to do a 1 minute, trying to get everything I need to talk about in 1 minute. And amazing how just even the credit card story could even go to, there we were, credit cards all over the table, just bam, 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 without having to go into, you can shorten the story easily, still get to the point.
And you really had me on edge with that story. And I was really trying to figure out how that story was going to end. But it felt like I was still left kind of wanting an end. You see what I'm saying? That's where I was going with that. And I really feel like if I was a customer or guest or however you want to say it, and my thing was money mindset, that would be a perfect story to be able to tell them about how the money mindset was set into your son because of this story. Right? And I love that you use personal stories for it because that'll make you a lot more relatable. Okay. What else we got? Oh, I love Wealth Wednesday.
Isn't that cool?
I love Wealth Wednesday. You can use that. I really feel you can use that somewhere in a presentation or somewhere. You could start a revolution. Well, not a revolution, but I know what I'm saying. You could just really start something really big by trying to get Wealth Wednesday out there. Get other people to start. Get people to start following you. Do you have any like Facebook groups or any kind of gatherings or anything like that? Do you promote Wealth Wednesday there?
No, I used to, but
start. Go back. Do it some more. People want to follow a story. People want to be a part of a story. Give them a reason to do Wealth Wednesday and they will love you for it.
You're right. I had a bunch of teens at the pool, a lot of expats, meaning they're not from here, probably UK, whatever, that sassy 7, 8-year-old. And before I got in the pool one day, I said, do you know why it's totally awesome to make money? And all the parents at the other end of the pool got off their phones and were like, what is she going to say now? And the kids were like, oh, because you get to buy dresses. And I go, no, when you make more money, you can help more people. They all looked at me as I was crazy. But the parents at the other end of the pool were looking at me like, this is going to have to be a dinner conversation when we get home. And they realized that a whole can of worms.
You just made them have more work. That's what you did there. Yeah. So how do we take what we've talked about of this so far and incorporate it into, say, the aquatic fitness realm that you're in? Let's just start there.
Am I talking about what happens in the aquatic fitness realm?
Well, here's the thing. I really feel that you can actually incorporate a lot of what you're learning here into the aquatic fitness. Don't just do aquatic fitness. You could even start coaching. Start talking about this kind of stuff in your aquatic business. You see what I'm saying? Integrate it into what you're doing. That way you actually have more practice into being able to talk to other people. There's nothing wrong with practicing that. And possibly even pulling out some clients.
I do quite a bit of that when I'm teaching.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what can we do because one thing I really like to do is I like to interweave different types of businesses together. Find different ways to cross money mindset with your putting yourself first into your coaching or something along those lines. Because that way, I'm going to ask you this question. I should have asked you this earlier. I'm sorry, but do you know what your zone of genius is? Okay.
No.
I saw your kind of ears go when they said that earlier. So I just wanted to see. So your zone of genius is basically the one thing that you love to do so much you're willing to do it for free.
Teaching babies swimming.
That could be a part of it. I think there's more to it than that. And it sounds like you do that already. It sounds like you have a specific kind of thing going on for teaching babies to swim. It sounds like to me.
Because people gravitate to my energy, then I would say my zone of genius is the ability to motivate humans.
Good. That's good for a coach. So I want you to, I'm going to send you a link to a book. Okay. It's going to be an affiliate link, just so you know, called The Big Leap.
Well, I have that. No, maybe not. I know I've heard of it.
By Gay Hendricks. This book changed my life. It allowed me to do what I'm doing right now. This is all in my zone of genius. Between the podcast, it's basically talking to people and helping them is my zone of genius. I don't get paid I don't get paid for my podcast. I don't charge anything for my podcast. I basically do it for free and finance it myself because that's what I love to do. And I don't mind doing that because that's in my zone of genius. And then eventually maybe something will come across and somebody will give me the money. Who knows? But I don't care about that. I care about helping other people. That's my zone of genius. That's what comes first. Then the money follows if it decides to follow. I don't care about the money. I don't follow the money. So that's how I know it's in my zone of genius. So, but that book will definitely give you more of an insight about the zone of genius, how to find it. It also goes into called the upper limit problem. So the upper limit problem is basically you get comfortable in your love and abundance, and for some reason you can't get any more of love and abundance up above that. So you tend to sabotage yourself to stay in that comfort zone of love and abundance. Now, for example, my comfort zone and my love and abundance problem, upper limit problem, was very, very low several years ago. No matter what I did, no matter how hard I tried, I would always end up sabotaging myself with a really dumb decision, or something really stupid would happen that I could have prevented it, but I didn't. And now that I look back on it from where I am now, it's a whole different thing. It's like, why was I doing that to myself? I could have been a better person. I could have made more money. I could have had better people around me, but I chose not to. Why? Because I hit my upper limit really quickly. So in that book, it'll tell you about your upper limit, how to change your upper limit to where you can accept more love and abundance without getting to the point where you want to sabotage yourself. Okay. You're muted. So there you go.
I love that. I love that. Self-sabotage is huge for so many people. I'm sure myself as well.
Can you give me an example?
I have this. You tell me if this is an example.
Okay.
I have about 15 boxes of papers that I need to go through and either throw away, or if something needs to be filed for taxes or whatever. These are like years of stuff. Because I'm in the Cayman Islands, so some things you have to keep for so many years. I'm not a procrastinator, but for some reason, everything comes before dealing with that pile. I've gotten over the fact of beating myself up for that pile. I don't look at it and think, oh, you're less of a human because you didn't get it done. But I think I definitely, if this is what you mean, self-sabotage myself out of even dealing with it. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. The answer is yes. It's something you got to get done, but you do everything you can to not do it. So what kind of consequence can we look at if we just don't do it? What kind of consequence do you think would happen?
It remains a pile, but we need the space. It's also a reflection of me not getting something done because people come in this space.
So this pile could actually represent something in your life, right? Every time you look at this pile, it produces an emotion in you. And more times than not, it's probably a negative emotion. Every time you look, so you're looking at it right now. So when I say what kind of negative things can happen, it's not so much as it's like a law thing or something along those lines. No, I'm talking about how it makes you feel personally when you look over at that pile and see it staring at you. So we have to find a way to get rid of that pile. I have a feeling if you find a way to get rid of that pile, you're going to find a way to make everything else happen.
It'll feel so good when it's not there.
Exactly. You look over and instead of seeing that big pile of papers over there, you see a table with a plant on it, whatever. Take that place of it. But I have a funny feeling that pile of papers represents something in your life. And the only way that we're going to be able to take that pile down is two ways. One, a little bit at a time, or match.
I'm liking the match idea.
Yeah. But I mean, if we do the match, we're doing it the easy way, right? The quick way, and it's not always the right way. So I would start personally, I would start tackling that pile 15 minutes a day. Sit down.
What I am doing is I have a friend of mine that comes in. She needs to earn some extra money. So she comes in, she does a certain part of it free, like in different piles, like shakes about these are magazines or this, that. And that's how we whittled it down the last week and a half, because I'm held accountable to a greater degree if she's here, and then I have to be here with her to do it. But I had to recognize that. I had to recognize, Laura, I just need to have one person here that I can focus on just this and get it done.
So here's the thing, and I'm glad you brought up that example. I'm glad you're doing that, because now, since it's not doing this paperwork is not in our zone of genius, obviously, it's not mine either, right? So what we do instead of trying to tackle this pile in the zone of oh gosh, now I have to remember the zones. I don't want to say zone of negligence, but it's like one above that. It's probably the lowest thing on the totem pole in your zones of genius. Instead of tackling yourself and it taking forever and it staring at you, you delegate it out to somebody that it is in their zone of genius, that is capable of doing that. So you're actually taking care of it the right way. You're letting somebody, it may cost, but what's the real benefit of you spending that money? And how much you think it's really going to cost if you don't?
Totally.
So, and that will also be in that book as well, too. The different zones.
Well, I think what also you're pointing out, Jesse, that the book probably does as well, is no, I don't have to do everything myself. Like it's not, it's like I don't iron and I don't change tires. I'm not going to unless I have to. So that's not in my zone of genius. And I like the fact that I can now look at this pile and go, that's not in my zone of genius. So I love it. Yeah.
There you go.
More positive anyhow.
Yeah. A lot more positive than staring at it. That's for sure. How are you taking advantage of affiliate marketing? I know you said it's not affiliate marketing per se, but I mean, you have products, especially doing in the aquatic fitness area, where you can actually take advantage of a lot of areas that will help you make money. So how are we taking advantage of that right now?
Affiliate links go out with various newsletters and emails. It's very easy for me to give a link to somebody. I don't feel like I'm pushing anything.
Mm-hmm.
I do talk, one of the companies I'm involved with, which is clothing, everything I do, nutrition, clothing, whatever, is great. And I share that openly to people. So whether it's in social or an email, a text, and now we're having our website redone. So some of the things in the bottom, it's more of a, I don't know if you call it a blog, but it's more about me coming in with this. If you want more information, send them someplace to look at it.
Mm-hmm. Just make sure it goes through a link of some kind that,
Funnel,
so
exactly.
you get credit for that. But how are we taking advantage of that physically in the fitness aquatic area?
Only with one company that I don't get, it is affiliate, I don't get any money from it, but for equipment.
Mm-hmm.
But what's more important is because Amazon's becoming such a big deal down here, is to get on an Amazon affiliate. I was on it before. I forget what happened with being in Cayman and credit cards. But Amazon's one thing to go back and look at because it's really easy, no matter what you talk about, except for some of the specialty things I do, to easily go to Amazon.
Okay. So that's what I use. A lot of my products are Amazon affiliate products. The one thing most people don't know is if they buy anything else in a 24-hour period after using your link, you actually get a percentage of what they buy.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if you're aware of that. I'm sorry.
No, I am. And I did actually repeated it tonight. You're key to them, but only for 24 hours.
Right. Also, you have to be careful. If you don't have anybody buy anything from you in 90 days, then they kick you out. So, right. Then you have to reapply again. Yeah. So just kind of keep that in mind as you go along there. So what else can we do? Can we maybe find affiliates to work for us?
Yes, because that's how I work with a lot of my colleagues. I'm affiliate for them. So it's just someone who does Pinterest and training.
I understand that, but I mean affiliates to work for you, Laura.
Yeah, and once I have an evergreen product.
Do you really need an evergreen product to be able to have somebody work for you?
You mean for someone so even affiliate to send them my way for coaching, you mean?
Could be a possibility.
Didn't think about that.
You send me somebody and I'll give you a $50 finder's fee or whatever you decide. It's up to you. We did that a lot in car sales. I'm a former 16-year car salesman. And a lot of businesses and deals that I made were through other people sending me people and me sending them $25 back. You could do the same thing here with just about anything that you're doing. You could even do it with, hey, send me people to my aquatic fitness area and I'll give you a finder's fee, new signups, whatever, that kind of thing. There's a lot of ways. You obviously know the affiliate if you're an affiliate for somebody else, but we need to flip that for you and have you take advantage of those same things from other people. You need to start benefiting from affiliates, not these other people.
Fabulous idea. And what do you feel about for someone like I like how you had a charge, like nothing, to be able to come in and meet with you. I think holds people accountable. And I was thinking with coaching, you don't want to be giving away a whole. I mean, I think it's important to have that that time to meet to find out if you're a good fit for each other. Do you think that should be a billable thing?
That's up to you and what your comfort zone is or what you're comfortable doing. If you feel it's something that should be, then sure, why not? There's only one way really to find out.
I mean, I have limited time. So, yeah.
Well, that's why if you have limited time, that's when we start going into boundaries. I think your boundaries are actually pretty good from what I'm feeling from you right now. It's the only way I've been able to accomplish what I'm accomplishing is very, very strict boundaries. I will work at this time on these days, only on this. If it's during that time you need me, you're going to have to wait. If it's after those times, we could talk about it or that kind of thing. But to be able to, if time is one of your major things that you really need to work on, then you got to make sure you set those boundaries so that time can be met. So like me, I do all my podcasting, all my coaching, and all my editing for my podcast between 3 p.m. and 10 p.m. on Tuesdays. And sometimes on Sundays, because I'm off on the morning of every other Sunday too. So that's why my Calendly was kind of like sporadic and kind of all over the place when you were looking at it, because those are the times I set for myself to accomplish what I need to accomplish, which includes doing my coaching, which includes doing my editing for my podcast and those things. So do you take stock of your time? I mean, do you really sit down and say, these are the times that I work?
I'm more focused now on that than I ever was.
Okay.
Because I used to be this philosophy, Jesse, we'd fill every slot. And then run along like a chicken with my head cut off. And then I was like, this doesn't make sense. And I don't like it anymore. Changing my clothes 5 times a day, in the pool, out of the pool, in the car. Because
a lot of stuff that you're going to be accomplishing here, you're going to have to set aside time for. So just make sure that you set a boundary of time to accomplish what these things are, even if it's only 15 or 20 minutes a day. At least you're doing something to push yourself forward. Because that's going to be the important thing. Without movement, without taking time to start, get across the start line on a lot of these things, there's no finish, right?
Agreed.
That goes into my tagline too for my podcast. I can, I am, I will, and I'm doing it today.
I love it.
My son said that when he was 6.
Say it again.
I can, I am, I will, and I'm doing it today.
Lovely.
And he was having some rough time with schooling and work and that kind of thing. And he said that when he was 6 years old doing his homework. And it was so profound for that, something like that to come out of a 6-year-old. I had to plaster it all over the house. He now is 17. He graduated 6 months early from high school, and now he's off to culinary college.
Oh, cool.
So it seems to be working for him. So that's why I use it.
I'm doing it today.
Correct.
Cool. So what do I have to quote him or quote you?
I usually give him the accolades for it, but I mean, we've talked about it. I mean, he doesn't like putting his name on stuff, so you can put my name, and if any money comes, I'll just give it to him. But yeah, that's how I've run a lot of what I do. Just saying that.
I can, I am, I will, and I'm doing it today.
That's right.
I think I'm going to be writing that and putting it in my bathroom mirror.
I have it all over here in my place. So. All right. What else do we got going here? I wrote down the word educate because you really like doing that. You told me that earlier. You're going to be doing a lot of that with your coaching. See, I don't know where I'm going with that. My mind's just kind of wandering at this point because I'm trying to put things together here. No, that's pretty much it. Really don't have anything here. Okay. So up to this point, I don't really have much left for you. I want to give you an opportunity to maybe continue, ask questions, because we've only been on for an hour and 15 minutes. I gave you 2 hours worth of time. At the same time, I don't want to feed you from the fire hose either. So it's up to you. So I just want to know, do you have any questions for me at this point of anything that we've talked about? Anything you want to go over again? Anything new that's come into your mind that you want to kind of cover?
I think what I want to ask you, obviously you're hardworking. You have work ethic. You have 2 jobs. It says it all. We do what you have to do to get what you need to do. But obviously with me talking and sort of being all over the place, which sometimes I feel I am because I get super excited about everything. One key takeaway is totally the stories to make sure I stay within boundaries of what I'm talking about. And the story goes from here to here, doesn't go tangent over here. So if I'm not talking about money mindset, then I don't go that direction. I think that's always hard for people. There are two key takeaway is for me is even this is mindset. So it's shifting my mindset from what I thought the path was going to look like to what, maybe it is going to look like this. Why do I not jump at an opportunity down the street? They shot you with the president of the United States was there versus, well, maybe not, something important. And then versus California. I used to chase a lot of silver fish. And that's why I had to really think through California, the monetary side, is it business-wise here, not the speaking business, but fitness connection is the best I stay here. And that's what helped me make the decision. I loved what I would like to ask you is knowing that my zone of genius is loving is what the feelings I get when I get so unmotivated when they take a benchmark, when they go over a hurdle. And they get the credit. I don't. I just help them. What would be your number one suggestion of where I go from here? Besides downloading the book. But what would your number one, if I love motivating humans, after knowing me just now, what would be your number one piece of advice?
That's kind of rough because it can't come from me. It has to come from inside of yourself. What is your next step? Well, you have a whole list of steps. Now it's up to you to prioritize that list to what you think would be the next move for you. And which one of those things is going to bring you the most love and abundance now? Right? So I want to give you an answer to that, but unfortunately I can't because it's not up to me. It's up to you.
It's a great answer. I respect you for that.
Because my answer would be something that I feel for me. Where would I go? What would be my next step? What would be my advice? That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about Laura. We're talking about you and your feelings and your emotions and your love and abundance. So the next question from that would be, well, what do you think? Now, I'm not going to say answer that now, but I do want you to reflect on that question. Look back at what we talked about. I will be sending this video to you, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
So we can look back and see what we've talked about and what your next move should be for you. Only what your next move is going to be.
And just from what you've heard, do you believe there's a market out there of people that need what I have to offer?
Definitely. I'm not even going to hesitate at that. And that's the thing too. A lot of people think that the market's saturated or there's too many coaches out there and that kind of thing. But what I like to say to that is we all have one thing. You have one thing that nobody else has in this earth. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I'm going to write this down. Okay. What's the what? So the question is, I have the one thing that no one else has on this earth.
What is the one thing that you have that nobody else has on this earth you could use?
Me.
Exactly. Laura is going to be the person that everybody wants to come to. If they want to go with Laura, they're not going to come to you, right? Your vibe attracts your tribe. People are going to follow you for you. They're going to want to be you. They're going to want to be with you because of who you are, because of what you've done, because your experiences, because that you own a fitness aquatic thing. I'm sorry, I'm not very technical. Because you're a great storyteller, because You did Wealth Wednesday. You taught me Wealth Wednesday. I love you for that. I love the way you motivate people. People are going to follow you for you. So that is going to be what your differentiator is in this industry. So that's why I could confidently say yes to any of those things that you said, because you're you, you're Laura.
There you are.
Yeah, here I am. Sorry, I froze up a little bit. Okay.
That's why you can confidently say.
That's why I could confidently say that, yes, you will have there is a place for you in this market. It's because you're Laura. You are you. And you have the experiences that you've had in your lifetime. And that's what people are going to want to be with you for.
And in your coaching, I think one of the hurdles that many entrepreneurs have, I'm going to use myself as an example, is let's just start with coaching. How does that coaching look 3 years down the line? Starting with 5 people, and then going to once you have 10, that goes, they add on to another group. Because every 90 days, a new group starts. How the whole 5-year plan works out. That's something you deal with?
Yeah, it's different with everybody. Everybody's going to have their own roadmap on how they're going to approach their coaching. So my roadmap is going to be different from your roadmap. It sounds like you're going to want 2 or 3 clients, maybe 5 clients, but at the same time, you want to have some group coachings put together for you. So it really depends on you and how you want to run your business. What's funny, it sounds like I'm deflecting every question right back at you, but at the same time, that's really the way it needs to be. I mean, as much as I want to say, this is step A, this is step B, this is step C, and this is step D for you to accomplish and meet your goal. If I said that, I would be wrong, because I don't know. First of all, I don't know what the future holds for you. I don't know what's going to happen. So how am I going to give you a roadmap if you don't know what your future is going to be? This is a roadmap you need to make for yourself, right? When I get my first when I get my first coaching client, I will do this with them. And then after that, I will do this with them. And after that, I will do this with them. And then when we get to that point, if they still want to continue, I'll put them here. Right? Now, if you want to build a roadmap for yourself and then run it by me, I'm perfectly happy doing that and giving you advice on the roadmap you actually make. But the initial blueprint is going to have to come from you first.
Isn't that fabulous? Because the whole key to everything is asking the right questions. So I don't feel you're deflecting. I feel you're asking, just like if you were talking to a client, you're asking, and just like me talking to a client, I'm asking them questions to help them reflect where they're at, so then they can make their own decisions.
Exactly.
That's cool. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to suggest another book to you. I was actually just listening to it today, so hopefully I can pull it up here. The Coaching Habit.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that or read that?
No.
Okay, so let me pull it up here. The Coaching Habit by Michael Bungay Stanyard. Michael Bungay Stanyard. The Coaching Habit. Okay. If you want to code, that's like basically the textbook for coaching. And all cards on the table, that's the one I use.
Cool.
So I'm going to let you in a little secret there. I'll send that link to you too, okay?
You're going to email it?
Yeah. Well, do you want me to email it or send it to you message?
A messenger is fine, because I want to get the other book as well.
Right. So I'll send both of those to you. That will help you. If you and when you finish that book, if you decide you still want to do coaching, then you're probably on the right track.
Cool. I'm super excited.
All right. Good. That's important. Any other questions I can't answer for you?
No, I so appreciate your time. This has been very great. And I just love how you've handled everything. I admire you for that. What do you do for your other jobs?
So during the daytime, I work in the hospital and I'm in EVS, which is basically a fancy way of saying I carry trash around all day. But at the same time, nobody talks to the trash guy. So all I do is I put an earbud in and all I do is listen to entrepreneur style podcasts and books. And this is how I've educated myself for the last, oh my goodness, 3 years now. So I've spent 3 years, practically 8 hours a day educating myself. And that's how I get a lot of what I do. So the other job I have is I'm a server in a restaurant, a barbecue restaurant called Getting Basted. And a lot of interaction with the public. So I learn how people talk, how they eat, I guess. But I'm on the public more and I communicate with them a lot. So I learn people's habits, how they speak, how to carry a conversation, and how to upsell. Because that's what your server, would you like fries with that? Whatever upsell it is to talk about. But I've been in the public's eye for years. So that's where a lot of my experience comes from. And then like I said before, I'm a 16-year car salesman. So a lot of my sales experience comes from selling cars, talking to people, getting their goals, their wants, their needs, and then matching a product with them. So that's where I get a lot of my experience.
I think me growing up being a waitress and doing all working, go to college, work at night, and best thing I ever did. And I'm sort of sad my son's never worked in the service industry because I think you can learn so much from that. And good on you. That's absolutely. And plus, I get my right arm to work in a hospital. That clue? Oh my God. I love it. I love it. But to have that time for you to be with you, what a gift.
It really was. It's gotten me where I am today. It really has.
And you have a 6-year-old. How old is your son now?
He's 17 now. I also have a 32-year-old son and a 29-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old granddaughter and 6 months now granddaughter.
Oh.
So, yeah.
I'm going to send you a link for baby swim.
There you go.
Well, this has been super fun. And then if someone did want to do coaching with you, how does that work?
Well, I'm more than happy to talk to anybody. As a matter of fact, Laura, what I'd like to do with you, if it's okay, is I'd like to follow up with you in a month's time. Another date on there. I'm not going to charge you anything for the second one. Okay.
It's so worth it, Jesse. It's so worth it because you're paying for someone's time. Yeah.
But this is what I love to do. So it doesn't bother me so much. Anyway, I want to see what changes you've made. I want to see if you've tackled that pile of papers. I want to see what you've implemented so we can make sure we're on the right track. Is that okay?
It's perfect. Like maybe after my trip, because that has to be done before my trip. So after April 6th.
That's fine. Whatever you're comfortable with, whatever works for you. I'm an easy guy. Okay. All right. What I'd like to know is what's the one thing you want to do as soon as you get off this call besides go to bed? Because I know it's late. So what's the first thing you're going to do?
I got 2 dogs lying down. They're lying down. They want me to take them outside. I'm going to download the first book, The Big Leap, so I can use it when I go walking tomorrow morning.
There you go.
What would you do first, The Big Leap or the coaching habit?
I would get The Big Leap, 100%. Make sure you get the audio version. Yeah. That's what I use. So, yeah.
It's all audio. And then looking at a table has a 5-pound piece of fat on it. All my spices, when I was talking about how to lose weight with spices. A thing in front of me, a big sticky note about dog. Do you have dogs?
Cat.
So it was all about dogs and the fact that cats are the same way, right? Doesn't matter where you go, you come back and they love you to bits. And I don't know what, even you would know. So one day, how's this work? If they only get 1 day a week. So 1 day for us is equal to 1 week for a dog.
Right.
What is it for cats?
I want to say it's 9 because they're smaller. I'm not 100% on that. I'd have to Google it.
But I just think it's so interesting because I didn't know that until I looked it up. And I didn't know with babies how the chance of eczema, if the mother's pregnant and has a dog and the dog's around the mother, the chance of eczema is like there isn't. The baby won't have eczema. And then once they get to the bacteria dog carries and they're around young babies, helps the baby not have asthma.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So I wonder if cats are the same way.
Could be. Basically what it does is it builds the immune system in the child to be able to handle something like that. Yeah. And as high as it is, it actually carries on to the rest of their life. They'll probably be less sick on that kind of thing. So
yeah, I think so too. Cool. Let's talk about.
All right. Yeah. If you have any questions, please go. You know how to get a hold of me, right?
Anywhere to find you.
DM me anytime. Okay.
Thank you for listening to the coaching edition of The Undiscovered Entrepreneur, brought to you by Doing It Today Coaching. If you want to get across the start line, contact me, DJ Scoob, at doingitTodayCoaching@gmail.com. Say the words "do it now" for a free 2-hour discovery call to see how I can help you in your entrepreneur adventure. Art and graphics by Elaine Wilson, supported by my Patreons, Brian Briggs of Ocean Tree Creative and Oliver Siegel of Anal, and hosted by me, DJ Scoob. Click the show notes below for more information. And remember, I can, I am, I will, and I'm doing it today. Hello, Scoob Believers. Let me ask you a real quick question. How many cups of coffee have you had today? 3, 5, 7? And let me guess, you've got a Red Bull in the other hand just in case, right? Yeah, I see you. Now, here's the truth bomb nobody wants to hear. You're not building a business. You're building a caffeine dependency. Listen, I get it. When you're grinding 12, 14, 16-hour days, you're building something from nothing. When you've got payroll to meet, investors to impress, and visions that won't wait. You need fuel. But what if I told you that the fuel that you're using is actually slowing you down? What if the very thing that you think is keeping you sharp is actually making you dull? Enter Rise Coffee. This isn't your grandma's mushroom tea. This isn't some hippie wellness trend. This is science meets performance. And here's what makes Rise different. Less than half the caffeine of a regular cup of coffee. But here's the kicker. You won't miss it. 6 organic powerhouse mushrooms, including cordyceps, what Olympic athletes use, and lion's mane, what Silicon Valley biohackers swear by. Sustained energy that doesn't spike and crash. We're talking smooth, clean power from morning to moonlight. Crystal clear focus without the jitters. Imagine closing the deal with calm, confident mind instead of the caffeine chaos. Gut health and immune support, because what's the point of building an empire if you're too sick to enjoy it? So here's the challenge to you. Stop borrowing energy from tomorrow. Stop running on fumes and call it a hustle. Stop wearing your caffeine addiction like a badge of honor. Real entrepreneurs optimize, real entrepreneurs adapt, real entrepreneurs win. You can't win if you're crashing at 2 p.m. while your competition is just getting started. Break the cycle. Head to risesuperfoods.com right now and use code PODNA15 for 50% off your first order. That's PODNA15 for 15% off. Try it for 30 days. If you don't feel the difference, if you don't feel sharper, calmer, more focused, more alive, then go back to your 6-a-day cup habit. But I'm telling you, we won't, because once you feel what real energy feels like, you'll never go back. Ditch the addiction, fuel your empire, and rise up. Rise Coffee, energy that builds, not burns.